Hi, Travis Amundsen with Once Upon a Board Game. Today I'm going to teach you how to play Gardlings. This is actually designed by a guy, Kristian, Østby, he's one of my favorite designers. One of my all-time favorite games is one that he designed. So when I see his name, I get kind of interested, I get excited. And then I found out that this is one that he designed with his young daughter. And so that kind of intrigued me. I thought, wow, I want to figure out what this game's all about. As you'll see in a minute here, it's basically a dominoes game. It's a simultaneous dominoes game where everybody's trying to match up to make gems to win a game. So let me show you how it plays. Okay, as I said, I'm going to be teaching the game Gardlings. Okay, so let me just talk about setup really quick. The game comes with a bunch of bags. Each player there's 4 players, so there's 4 bags. Each player's going to get their own bag. There's a whole bunch of different tiles, okay? There's tiles that are matching colors with this little board. See, and they have the numbers on the back that match also. So you see the 4, 7, 10, and 14. You're just gonna mix all those to, each individual stack you'll mix together, and then you make them roughly even, 2 piles of each of those in different numbered tiles, and you put 1 coin next to each of them. Those all go face up. You also have this separate stack of, I gotta love the name, pity pigs. Okay, so you have a stack of these pity pigs face down, off to the side with the remainder of the coins. And then off to the side, you have what's called the victory tile. Okay, so I'll talk about this in just a second. So that's how you set up the board. Then each player takes one of the bags and they get a set of starting tiles. Okay, I've kind of laid them out here. In the game, each player will start with gnome tiles. Okay, there's tiles that have a single gnome, and there's tiles that have 2 gnomes, okay? So each player will get 4 single gnome tiles and 2 double gnome tiles, okay? You can already, in these other bags, you can already hear there's, some of those sets of starting gnome tiles in the bags for the other players. So in addition to the 6 gnome tiles, every player will get 2 pity pigs, okay? So you start with 8 tiles, and you get all those, and you just throw them all in your bag, okay? Because each turn you're going to be drawing from your bag, okay? And this is a start player marker. So this will go around to see who's the start player for each turn of the game, okay? Now, what are we trying to do? What's this game all about? Well, this is essentially a dominoes game, right? We are laying tiles and we're playing them like dominoes. But what are we trying to do? Well, ultimately, we are trying to gain enough gems in what we create with our tiles. We make our own little gem garden. We're trying to create enough tiles, or enough gems rather, to be able to pay 20 gems to buy this victory tile, okay? It does say, on the flip side, you can play a shortened game. There you only need to go up to 17 gems to get the victory tile, okay? But in the standard game, you go to 20, okay? So what you're trying to do, like I said, is each turn we're gonna be laying out our domino gem tiles in front of us to create matches of gems. So as you can see, the different tiles have little half gems around the perimeters. And as you lay tiles in front of you, if you ever make matches of gems, like you see right there, that equals gems that you can spend towards buying additional tiles. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is get 20 of those gems in a single turn so that you can be the first person to buy this victory tile, okay? Now, just keep playing round after round until somebody can do that. If there's more than one person that can afford to buy the victory tile on the same turn, then the first tiebreaker would be which of those people actually had more gems to spend that turn, okay? If that is still a tie, obviously that person would win. If it's still a tie, you look who had more coins of those tied players, who had more coins still in their possession on that turn. That would be the tiebreaker. If still it's tied, then that turn, no one has yet won. The rules say, play another turn and see if one of those people can break the tie on the subsequent turn, okay? So that's how it works. Now, even though this can go up to 4 players, basically each person is gonna be doing what I'm gonna illustrate simultaneously, okay? We can all draw our tiles out of our bag one at a time and lay these dominoes in front of us. And then once everyone is done with that, then when it comes time to resolve and to spend the gems, then you do that in turn order, starting with the start player. Okay, so everybody can be playing simultaneously. Okay, I'll mention that this game comes with both kind of a standard version of the game and also an advanced version. Whenever you see in the rule book a little red box, like you see there, you see some here, and you see some on the back, that's talking about the changes you would make to play that advanced version. And with the start player tile on the front on the green, it has some little reminders And on the back, it has the different changes, what those changes are for the advanced version. So you can play with more or less depending on your group at the table. Okay, so how does it work? Well, everyone has their bag with their 6 starting gnome tiles and their 2 pity pig tiles, and everybody's going to be taking their turn simultaneously. Okay, the round is basically gonna stop and be over when everybody has finished, whether they choose to stop or they've busted. I'll get to busting in a second. And then at the end of that, once everybody has finished with their tile placement, starting with the start player and going around the table, everybody has the option of purchasing 1 new tile to then add to their bag for the next turn, and so forth. Okay, so again, the placement of the tiles in front of you, everyone does simultaneously. And once that phase is done, then beginning with the start player, everybody can purchase 1 tile. Okay, with the gems that you form, again, I've kind of talked about this before. This is essentially a domino style tile laying game. So think of these as domino tiles. If I had a 3 and a 3 on dominoes, I'd have to put them together. I couldn't put a 6 next to a 4 kind of thing, right? So if you look at the tiles, you see there's little half gems around the perimeter, right? When you place tiles, those things have to match up. So if there's no gem, that has to go to another spot where there's no gem, right? You know, the green has to go with the green, and so forth. So you have to figure out a way that your tile is played legally in front of you when you're doing that. Okay, and ultimately, like I said, you're trying to make those gems, those half gems around the perimeters, match up, because the number of complete gems that you can form in front of you is effectively your currency that you spend towards purchasing a new tile. If you ever have a really bad turn and you get less than 4, or maybe you just choose to take less than 4, you can always take one of those pity pigs, okay? If you either have less than 4 or opt to do that, you can take one of the pity pig tiles and a coin as consolation if you don't have enough to buy something else. And then you'd hold on to the coin, you'd put that in your bag, and so forth, okay? So let me illustrate. And again, this is gonna be what everybody's doing simultaneously. You draw a tile out and you lay it in front of you, okay? Now, I wanna mention, let's go back to those six gnome tiles that we started with, okay? There's 2 of the tiles that have 2 gnomes and 4 of them that just have 1 gnome. This happens to be one of the double gnome tiles. Well, gnomes are bad, right? On the little player aid here, there's a little summary and reminder that if you ever have more than 5 gnomes in your garden, you have to stop. Your turn is over, and those gnomes just stole 3 of your gems, right? So having more than 5 gnomes is bad, right? In fact, if on a turn you're gonna draw a tile that would put you over 5, you can't even place that tile. You have to set it aside, and then you lose 3 from your total of gems that you've made. Right, so it's kind of a little bit of a push your luck. You know that there's at least 8 gems in your bag. You know, the 2 double tiles, so there's 4 between those 2 tiles, and then the 4 singles. So there's always a chance that you can end up with more than 5 gnomes in your garden. Okay, so if that happens, you have to stop, but at any point before that, you can choose to stop. Okay, and then of course you'll get the gems that you formed as money to spend. So my second tile placement, I got this. So domino style, I have to make the ends match. Oh, how about we do something like that? Sure, why not? Okay, I have 2 gnomes, so I'm still sitting safe. So I mix up my bag, I draw again. I get, another double gnome. Oh, dang it, that's not good. Okay, well, I've already got 4 gnomes. I just made 2 more gems. I wish that was on the other side so I could make more than just 2, but I'll take it. And then, actually, that was kind of a good thing that I drew the double gnome, because now I know that even if I draw a single gnome, that'll be 5, and I'll know that I can safely stop without busting. Okay, so, and that it's a gnome. Okay, can I get more than just 1 out of this? Oh, almost. I could get those 2, but then the yellow doesn't match the empty space. Bummer. Oh, but over here, look at that. The green and the yellow match. So I will choose to stop. I right now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gnomes in my garden. That is the limit. You don't bust unless you're greater than 5. Okay, so I'm safe with the 5. I say, I'm done. I wait until everybody else says they're also done. Once we're all done, beginning with the start player, I can purchase 1 additional tile from my bag. It doesn't matter how much you have, you're limited to a purchase of 1 new tile. You can't split. If I had 14 gems, I couldn't split it to a 10 and a 4 or 2 7s, just 1 new tile. So if you look more closely at the tiles, I got a full gem there, I got a gem there, I got 2 there, and I got 1 there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 complete gems. Okay, so that's good enough to get me one of these ones. So I'll say, you know what, I'll go ahead and grab this. Maybe in the future, I can make a triple gem. That looks good to me. So the new tile that I bought goes in my bag along with everything else that I just played, okay? And oh, by the way, these coins, the first person to purchase a tile from each respective stack will also get the coin, okay? So since I bought the tile right at that stack, I get that coin as well. And what do the coins do? Well, the coins increase your buying power. So effectively, the coin, you can spend it as if it was another gem in front of you. Okay, so right there, I had 5 gems. A coin would have put me to 6, but not quite to 7, so I would have held on to it. But you can accumulate multiple gems, or multiple coins rather, and spend them in conjunction with your gems to get better and better tiles. I do want to point out, however, and there's a little reminder on the board here, you cannot spend coins to help you buy the victory tile, okay? That has to be strictly 20 or more gems in your little gem garden of your tiles, okay? The coins can help you purchase better tiles, but not the victory tile, okay? That's an important distinction. And over here, all these extra coins, well, you can get those. There's an advanced rule that helps you with those, but another way in the basic game is, first of all, if you ever bust, or if you, like, I think I've mentioned this before, if you bust or if you just choose not to, I can take a pity pig and a coin instead of purchasing a tile. So I had 5 there, but let's say maybe I drew another tile and I busted, okay? Going back to this little player 8 here, or this first player marker, you see that when you have greater than 5 gnomes, you stop, there's a little hand there, a stop sign, and then there's a -3 gems, okay? So if I would have had a 6th gnome, if I would have been trying to put a 6th gnome, I would have busted, and instead of the 5 gems that I did have to spend, I would have lost 3, and I would have ended up with just 2 gems to spend. So I couldn't have bought any of those. I would have had to take a pity pig and a coin instead. That would have gone in my bag, that kind of thing, okay? So that's a little reminder of how the turns end. The one other way, it's rare, I've never seen it happen, but if you are ever in a rare situation or circumstance where the tile that you play literally will not fit anywhere, there's no legal tile placement, you cannot match up even a single side, then your turn is just over. But I've never seen that happen, okay? So once again, once everybody has finished drawing, beginning with the start player, we all buy 1 new tile. We put everything, the tiles we just played, plus a new one back in the bag. The start player rotates 1 person to the left and so forth, and then we begin again. So now I mix them up, and I'll just play maybe 1 more round, just to illustrate again. Okay, so I start with a single gnome, draw again. Ooh, a double gnome. It's not a great way to start. Oh, maybe we'll do something like that. Then I draw, ooh, a pity pig. Ooh, look at that, the yellow and the blue, that matched perfectly. Great, right there and there. So right now I got 1, 2, 3 gems so far. I like that. Then I draw again. Ooh, another single gnome. I'll put this guy, oh, the blue and the green are backwards. Nope, it doesn't work there. Ooh, look at that. Green and blue, they match right there. I like it. I go again. I draw, ooh, another single gnome. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 gnomes. I'm glad I drew that and not the double gnome. That would have made me bust. That doesn't work there. Oh, not quite. Bummer. I can't get a double gem match. Just a single is all I can get, I think. Okay, so right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gnomes, and I want to stop because if I draw again, I'm gonna likely bust. I didn't get to see that new tile I just bought, which is a bummer. Okay, but now you look, so let's assume everybody else is done, so now it's time to buy tiles again. Once again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 gems on my garden. Here's a great example of the coin. With 6, I would be limited to buying a tile that costs 4. However, I can spend that coin, now I've got 7 gems to spend. The 6 that I had on my board formed, plus the 1 from the coin. So now I can buy one of these guys. So I can buy a new tile, then again, I pick up all the old tiles, they go back in my bag, and we get set for the next round, okay? And again, I take the coin for being the first person to buy from that stack, that's my benefit, okay, and so on. Again, this would pass to the next player, and you'd go again, so you repeat. And so you get the gist, right? So again, the tile placement can be simultaneously, everybody doing it at the same time. the time that it matters is who gets to buy first, because there might be a coin at stake, or maybe you really want a certain type of tile. So it would start with the beginner, the start player would get the first purchase. Okay, before I finish the video, I wanted to kind of illustrate the different types of tiles and kind of talk about the benefits of them. So I moved the coins, and I'm just getting a little bit more zoomed in view so you can better see and understand what I'm talking about. So there's 6 different types of tiles, and there is in the back of the rule book a nice summary of all the different types and what they do for you. Okay, if you ever want to look back and refer to that. First and foremost, there's pigs. Again, everybody starts with some pity pigs, okay? But there's pigs also mixed in with the other tiles you can buy, although the ones you can buy have a lot better potential matches. But the benefit of pigs, why would I want pigs in my gem garden? Well, the benefit with pigs is if I ever get 3 or more pigs in my garden, I get a free coin, which is great. It helps you, purchase better tiles. So the pigs are good because 3 or more gets you a coin. It's not 1 coin per 3. It's not like that. It's just 3 or more. You get a flat rate of 1 coin. So that's what the pigs do. There's also dragons, okay? Got them upside down there. The dragons are good, and there's another reminder of this here. Similar to the pigs, if you get 3 or more of the dragons, they scare off a gnome. Okay, so in essence, instead of being stopped at 5 gnomes before you would have to lose and stop your turn and bust, you can go up to 6 gnomes because the dragons can scare one away. So the pigs give you extra coins, well, extra coin, and the dragons scare away 1 gnome. So that's the benefit of those 2 types of tiles. Okay, the gardener, I did buy one of these during my little playthrough. The benefit of those is they have a chance to make a triple gem. Okay, so you can get a lot of gems for a single match. That's what those guys do. The mushies, or the mushroom guy, they call them mushies in the rules, they have what they call a paired gem, like a linked gem between 2 different ones. And if you can make matches of the gems on both sides, you also get the gem in the middle. So with a blue one here and a green one there, I would also be able to count that red one. So that would be 3 gems instead of just 2. So that's what those ones do, okay? The birdie, they have these little speckled gems around the perimeter, and those count as wild gems. Okay, so they match with whatever they're touching. So that's what those ones do. And then finally, there's unicorns. In the standard rules of the game, the unicorns don't have any special power. In the advanced version, as you might assume from the arrows, once this has been placed, you can then on a later turn pick it up and move it somewhere else. So that can be really, really beneficial. Okay, speaking of advanced rules, again, on the front, in the standard rules, you get the pigs, 3 or more pigs give you a coin, 3 or more dragons scare away a gnome, and then you bust when you get 5 or more gnomes and you lose 3 gems, just a flat rate 3 gems. If you play the more advanced rules, I'll talk about this top one in just a second. But instead of the pigs giving you a coin, if I get 3 or more pigs, I get a free upgrade. So in other words, a pity pig could be upgraded to a level 4 tile. A level 4 pig could be upgraded to a blue tile, the value 7, and so on. So they can get themselves upgraded to get better tiles. So that's what the pigs do for you in the advanced game. The dragons in the advanced game, they steal 2 gems from every other player that doesn't have at least 3 dragons. So that's one of those rules you may or may not want to play with it, just depending on the group that you're with. Okay, they don't scare away gnomes, they steal gems from other people. I shouldn't say they steal because you don't get those gems, the people are just forced to lose those gems. And then finally, if you bust, you still bust at 5 gnomes, that's still the bust limit. But instead of losing a flat 3 gems, you lose half of the gems that you have. So it could potentially be a lot more costly. Okay, so those are the advanced rules. And again, I'll get to this top one. Okay, it talks about ponds, in other words, like a little lake. If you ever create a pond, and I'm just going to place these illegally just to illustrate what I'm talking about. If you ever have an enclosed space, even if the enclosed space has an open corner, right? The space is completely enclosed. Like you see, there's an open corner on the player aid, but there's that enclosed hole in your board. For every one of those ponds that you have, you get to get a coin from the supply. Okay, so you're kind of incentivized to leave holes so you can get coins for future purchases. But then again, you're leaving possible gem matches open. So you take it for what it's worth, whether you want to do that or not. But those are the differences between the standard rules and the advanced rules. And once again, this game was designed by a guy with his young daughter. Okay, and so there's even a reminder right in the front. If you play with the advanced rules, it says you can choose to either use or ignore whatever rules you want. I mean, basically pick the ones that you like. So maybe you want to play with, the unicorns being able to move. Maybe you want to play with the pigs upgrading themselves, or maybe you don't want to play with the dragons attacking. Maybe you want to play with them, scaring away gnomes. do it the way you like. And that's what makes this, kind of a great family game, because you can play at the combination of rules that makes everybody happy and that makes everybody enjoy it more. But again, each turn, you're trying to get those gem matches to get better and better tiles until eventually you can buy the victory tile. And that's how it plays. So that was Gardlings. As you can see, it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's kind of fun that everybody gets to play at the same time. It's fun trying to puzzle out exactly where to put the domino to make the most gems, because obviously it's a race to get that victory tile. And so the quicker you can get 20 gems in your garden, the better. It's really cool that there's little advanced rules that you can turn off or turn on depending on the group you're playing with. Like for instance, being able to move that unicorn tile. That's a really cool power. You can decide if you want the pigs to give you coins or if you want the pigs to upgrade themselves. You can decide if you want the dragons to scare off gnomes or attack. So there's decisions you can make so that it's more family friendly for everybody. And so as you can see, it's really simple. There's not a whole lot of complexity to it. It's just simply pull out your dominoes and try and make it match, and try not to bust. Try not to get too many gnomes. So this is how it plays, and hopefully you've understood and learned the rules enough from seeing this video to be able to play it yourself. And if you do, well, I hope you can enjoy it. We've certainly had fun with it. So again, Travis Amundsen with Once Upon a Board Game. And hey, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and give me some feedback. Let me know if there's a game you want me to talk about. If you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. But just let me know. But I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.